What's up? My name is Devin. I also go by Infinite or Proud by Infinite, and today we're gonna be going over the best and most popular West Coast presets. Let's get it. All right, and as you can see, we have quite a few oh my god, bro. Oh, let's not do this today. So we got Purity pulled up right now. This is a VST that a lot of West Coast producers use. This VST has a lot of dope basses in it and a lot of dope leads. Actually, just a lot of dope sounds overall. It's really like one of them VSTs that gives you the best bang for your buck because it's decently cheap and you get a lot of sounds that are very usable in it as well. So the first preset I got pulled up is this fat bass right here. This bass preset right here is really good for like club music and stuff like that, or it's just like West Coast basses in general. Like I feel like it's really good for any type of beat that's going to be like hype. And now to give y'all actual examples of these presets in action, I'm gonna go into my Slap City MIDI kit and we're gonna bring out some MIDI just so y'all can actually hear what these be sounding like. So we're gonna right click, hit that send to selected channel or focus plugin. That's one of my favorite little tricks in FL Studio. That y'all getting a little 2-for-1. Y'all getting some shortcuts in this video too. You feel me? Bring that down. Yep. You know what I mean? So you can go high and go kind of on that like club bass kind of thing, or you can go low and just be on like some ratchet like turn stuff. And then for the basses and Purity, they're all really usable. Another one that I like is like the Rezo basses that they have in here. So the Rezo Bass TV2. Also, a huge tip with Rezo basses is that the velocity greatly changes the sound of the actual bass. So if you mess with the velocity all the way up and then you put it like halfway, it will sound completely different. Like watch, like this right here. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like really harsh and real like acidy, I would want to say. But then if we just take that MIDI, bring the velocity down a little bit to like halfway. You get more of that Detroit sound, you know what I mean? But then if you bring it down even more, it changes the tone of it again. You know what I mean? So whenever you're messing with any Rezo bass and any VST, make sure to mess with the velocity so you can get the actual tone that you want, because as you can see, it can vary greatly. And then also these synth basses right here are also really solid. Yep. You know what I mean? All these are solid. If anything, I would just like boost the low end for them, which you can use RC20 or you can use this VST right here that I really enjoy. So max bass VST right here. It is by Waves. It is paid for. It's not free. But it's like really solid for like synth basses. So if you want to just like turn them up and make sure they just slap in the whip just like how an 808 does, you could definitely use this. Like watch. You see how it gives it like more body, makes it more full, like make it hit like a little bit harder and everything like that. You can even go to another extent and just go to like a fruity wave shaper and start messing with this as well on top and just really boost it until like it's hitting, you know what I mean? You feel me? That's slapping way harder than what it was at first. See, now y'all getting a 3-for-1. Now y'all getting the mixing tips too. You know what I mean? First I gave y'all the presets, then I gave y'all the little life hacks, the little shortcuts. Now I'm giving y'all the mixing tips too. Man, quit playing with me, bro.
Man, stop playing with me. What?
All right, the next for Purity, they have a lot of dope synth leads. So the ones that I really like using in particular is the Simple Sign right here and the Winter Whistle. I use these basically anytime I need a lead for like a blast type beat or like a Kalen type beat. So that can be very useful for y'all. So let's go into the leads for the Slap City MIDI kit. And we can just pick just like literally any lead. I feel like they'll all sound good for it. So let's listen to how it sounds with the Winter Whistle preset. I really like the winter whistle one because I feel like it has a good amount of like effects on it, so you don't really have to do anything to it. The simple sign, you do have to tweak it a little bit. So if you listen to it, you see how it kind of has that click. So whenever I use it, I kind of just go in here and just move like the little envelope like that a little bit. And it usually takes care of the issue. So if you do like using that preset, that's something that you will have to do with it. Or I mean, you don't have to, but it's highly recommended that you do. The only thing with this synth lead too is that it gets really loud. So I just like turning it down a good amount. Fire. I like that one a lot too because it has a good amount of delay on it. I feel like it echoes off really well. And then the next one in Purity is called the Tape Choir. I like using this one as like a pad and layering it with like other pianos and stuff like that for like dark, like Draco or like Mozzie type beats. It always comes out super crazy every time I do it. So let's go into the melodies. Scroll down, and I think like the Shoreline Roads would sound really good with it, so we're gonna pull that in there real quick, and then we can just play it real quick, and just y'all can just see how fire it could be. Fire. Yeah, I mean, you don't even really gotta do anything to it. It sounds good on its own. You know what I mean? Of course, you could throw RC20 on it, wider EQs and stuff like that, but usually you could just take it and just turn it down a little bit and just have it be layered with the pianos. And then the last Purity sound that we're gonna talk about, it would almost be a disservice if we didn't talk about this sound while having Purity up. It's like it's the I Am Sue lead, the cheap lead. I personally don't use this sound anymore just because I feel like it sounds really dated, but we can't deny that it's one of the most like influential sounds and one of the most iconic sounds as well. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like that stuff. You know what I mean? So like it is super dope. It does sound like amazing, but like it's been used like so many times. So let's grab a lead for this sound real quick, and we can use the bouncy synth lead. Throw that in there. Now we can just see what it sounds like. You know what I mean? Like super dope, super iconic. Like we've all heard this sound before, you know what I mean? But the one thing that I will say with the cheap lead is that if you have the MIDI like overlapping each other like this right here, you have to be very careful not to overdo it because it eventually fades out if it's overlapping too much. So with synth leads, you definitely want to have things overlapping like this right here because it helps with like how it glides like this right here. And you see how it kind of like glides into the next note? That's why a lot of people do it, because it sounds really cool and it's like really smooth as well. But if you like really like have it overlap too much, it will actually just fade out eventually. Watch, like this right here. You see how the volume like greatly decreases? That's one of the things you have to watch out for. That's not very common with synth leads. It's just common with this specific synth lead. I've seen a couple other synth leads do it, but it's not something that is so prominent with them to the point where you would have to look out for it every single time. All right, and now we're moving on to Xpand, another great budget VST that has a lot of dope sounds and a lot of iconic sounds with it too. And speaking of iconic sounds, the Thurman lead, number 23, like the GOAT, because this is one of the GOATed leads ever, bruh. If you listen to a lot of Mozzie music, you're gonna hear this lead a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, like y'all get the point. Like it be going crazy, especially for the dark beats. So that Thurman lead has been used a lot, so I try not to use it too much myself. So a great alternative that I like to use for that lead is the Storytell lead. I don't really see other people use this one as much, but it's like still pretty fire. But what I like to do with it is I like to drench it in reverb. So I'm gonna draw in a pattern real quick, just something super simple that anyone else can do, and then I'm gonna throw the reverb on and show y'all how it sounds. So as you can see, once you start throwing like a bunch of reverb on it, it kind of becomes like a cool little cross between like a pad and a synth lead at the same time, which, you know what I mean, if you're doing like ambient Draco beats, super fire for it. I've been using it a lot personally myself. Let's see what it sounds like pitched up octave too. Yeah, maybe not. Y'all get the point though. All right, and the next sound that we got up is the Mark II in Xpand. Xpand has a lot of great electric pianos and pianos in general, especially for like this West Coast sound, bruh. So let's just, without further ado, let's just get into it. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go back into the melodies. We're gonna bring up that Shoreline Roads and bring it into the VST and show y'all what that sounds like in an actual application. So yeah, if you're trying to do like dark West Coast stuff, this electric piano is perfect for you. And then next we got the Air Max pad, super fire pad, just for like some ambient stuff, you know what I mean? So we got some MIDI pulled up into it, so let's just hear what it sounds like. I mean, as you can see, it could be really great for layering and just giving like a slightly different texture to the rest of your sounds and melodies and loops and everything like that. All right, and then speaking of ambient pads that you could layer for your loops, this wouldn't be an infinite video if I didn't talk about the Baby Angelic preset, bro. Y'all see me use this for like the past 6 months consistently. You know what I mean? So this is in the first loophole bank. It's an Analog Lab 5. And it's just one of my favorite pads just because it's so versatile, you know what I mean? You can bring in some smooth stuff like this right here, like the Blast Roads, and you can just like make it be for like some smooth stuff like this. Or you can go and make some like darker stuff like with the Shoreline Roads. Let me go down an octave. You know what I mean? Like a really dope pad, super versatile and everything like that. So this next one isn't really like a preset specifically. It's more just like the whole VST. So lately I have been getting a lot of people asking me like where to find a lot of vocal chops or vocal runs and everything like that. And if you be doing West Coast stuff, that you know that this VST right here, the vocal runs 2 and the vocal runs 1, has been used a lot in West Coast production. All those like old school Mozzie beats got these, and shoot, even stuff with like Stupid Young and like newer productions still be having these like vocal runs in it. So it's something that has been used a lot and still continues to get used a lot to this day.
To this day! To this day!
Now there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can use this VST right here, but I personally like doing it like this. So whatever scale I'm in, that's the note that I'm gonna choose. So as you can see, every time you go on a different D, we're changing the scale. I'm not doing this to myself. Oh yeah, I am not gonna keep on saying, oh, when you go on this D, it's gonna sound, when you go on that D. No, we're not doing that. We're going on C. We're in C minor now. So when you go on every single C, it will be a different vocal run, as you see. So as you can see, like the C right here is gonna play it. But if we go up an octave, it's gonna be a different one. But when you go in between those 2 octaves, it's gonna have the same vocal run, but just like pitched up more. You know what I mean? But this is my favorite way of using these vocal runs. I like just going on whatever key I'm in and going to that note, and then that always usually works for me. So let's show what these little vocal runs could sound like in the actual application of a melody. So we're gonna go over to the Mark II piano and Xpand. We're gonna bring over the Shoreline Roads. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna go over to, which one was the Purity pad again? I forgot. Yeah, this one right here. So number 3. Then we're gonna bring that same pattern over into the synth, the tape choir. You're gonna get rid of this low note because it's gonna be a little too low for it. And then we can start laying down the little vocal runs. And I usually like throwing effects on them before I even start using them. So we're gonna go right here, right click, and we're gonna go on my mixer preset, the Vox Mix 2. You know what I mean? If y'all want to copy these presets, feel free. Y'all just gotta be quick with it because we ain't gonna spend too much time on it. I've talked about it a lot before, so y'all gonna have to like pause the video and everything. You know what I mean? If y'all want to copy it, feel free. Alright, cool. So this one is in G minor. So what I was talking about with the C's, we're not gonna do it. So actually, let's just switch over to G just so it's easier to see for all y'all. So now we're in G minor, which is the same scale of the chords that we threw in. So now I'm gonna click on the actual note that we're in the scale for. So we have G minor, so I'm gonna click on G right here, and I'm gonna move it over to like maybe like the middle right here. Whenever it comes, oh my god, that is so annoying. So whenever it comes to like throwing in these vocals and everything like that, I usually find that putting them in the middle right here for the pattern, or putting them on the second bar usually always sounds good. It's usually one of those two spots that sounds really good. So we can just do something simple like this, and then maybe bring it over to the half point. Alright, and then the last one that we're going to talk about today is the brass impact hit in Triton. This is just a really cool impact that you could use for like the beginning of your melodies. So we can just go right here and then, you know what I mean? What I like doing is I like putting a lot of reverb and delay on it. So we're going to go over to the mixer channel. We're going to throw on Fruity Reverb.
Hey, go ahead.
We mess with the settings, just put a whole bunch of reverb on it. And then throw a good amount of delay on there as well, because I just like how things be echoing off. So we're going to go to 4 steps right here. Then maybe turn to like 50%. Maybe turn down the high cut a little bit. Turn it down. This can be a really good impact to the melodies that you're doing, especially if you're doing like LA stuff like Draco, Bravo stuff. Like it can really be solid for that type of stuff. So we'll bring in the shoreline load. So we're bringing the shoreline roads one more time. You know what I mean? It could be a cool little impact. And with that being said, that concludes the video. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. If y'all found some type of value in this video, drop a like on it for me real quick. You know what I mean? And if you ain't subbed, hit the sub button. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm tired of saying y'all I mean. But with that being said, my name is Devin. I also go by Infinite, pop by Infinite, and peace out.